On the last episode, Stephen Coleman actually suggested that I needed some more eye candy. Coleman, I am the eye candy. What's happening, everybody? Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter, and welcome to today's Finest for January 25th, 2018, fueled, as always, by Nerd Teas. And in just our second episode here on today's Finest, we're going to be introducing a new feature, and it's going to show up somewhere around this area, depending on where my hands are in relation to the camera. Along the bottom, I'm going to post on here what my sub count is on my channel, because this is a big part of starting this series, is helping me get to the watch time requirements and the sub count requirements in order to maintain partnership on my channel. So somewhere, the sub count is right there below my head, and right now we're at 845, and what that means is my subscriber count has increased by 40 subscribers since the first episode. That was just a couple of days ago. We're only 155 subscribers short of reaching the 1,000 subscriber plateau, which will allow me to keep my partnership, and once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll have something wild and crazy to do. But in all honesty, the sincerest of thank yous goes out to my friends on Facebook, because I put the plea out there and I said, look, guys and gals, I need your help. They responded in a big way. Also, before I go any farther, shout out to Tyler's Bunny. And that's going to seem really weird, but this is really all the context you need. There's Tyler. He was on the movie awards videos. You should watch those. He has a bunny. His name is Castle. Castle, also nicknamed by me, Bun Bun Kilchan. So right off the top, like a way too drunk guy at the bar that's trying to pick up a lady, I gotta disappoint you right away. Part of my hook for today's episode was that I was going to give you a review of The Post, Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, directed by Steven Spielberg, about the Washington Post, and I believe was it the Pentagon Papers? I didn't get to see the movie yet, so I gotta disappoint you on that one. Can't give you the review today. I'm seeing the movie tonight, so next time we get on here, I will fulfill that promise, and I will review The Post. Got a couple of things that I want to address from the comments section of the previous episode, the debut episode of today's Finest. One came from my guy, Gio DeFranco, Giorgio. Gio knows, the Prague father. He was talking about being in the same situation that I am, which is about to lose partnership effective February 20th. And his kind of comment, and this ties into the whole, the whole idea that I think I'll try to kind of underlay. If you're in the same situation that I am, how can I do better? How can you do better to meet the metrics that's going to allow you to keep partnership? Because I firmly believe, don't let YouTube tell you that you're not good enough to be a partner anymore. Gio's specific comment was, how can I hustle? I've made over 300 videos. To which I responded, Gio, I've made 455, and here I am. So let's say that you're in a situation like Gio. Gio is well over the subscriber threshold. He's just not getting it done on the watch hours across the last 365 days. And Gio, I got a short answer and I got a longer answer for you. The short answer is content. Content, content, content. It doesn't have to be vlogs. That's just the choice that I've made. A guy like Gio especially, you get the views. The views are there. It's just the consistency of content, because outside the NFL regular season and the playoffs, you don't really do anything. And that kind of ties into the second part of it, which is actually it's more than just content. Content is at the foundation, but it's more than just content. If we want to keep up that consistency, to keep those watch hours up 365 days a year, it's the type of content. It's not just content, it's the type of content. We have to start doing content that is not time sensitive. NFL picks are time sensitive. In week 10, nobody's going to care who I picked in week 2. It's the whole nature of doing doing sports predictions. It's that they're time sensitive. So if we want to get away from that, that's going to be a great way to keep watch hours up across 365 days. I'm talking about general topic videos, commentaries on art and media, things like that, or about, opinion pieces about ongoing things. The one example I'll just pull off the top of my head, look, racism in America. That's not going anywhere anytime soon. So, you know, do a video talking about your opinion, your thoughts on it. That's content, and it's content that's going to stand the test of time, not just be time sensitive to 1 week. And not to crap on what we do, not to crap on our bread and butter, like, we can do videos on time sensitive stuff. It's just got to be well ahead of time. Like, I mean, the time to do a video about like predictions for the Olympics is now. This is the time to start doing that stuff, because you're going to get views trickle in over a long period of time. So that's my advice to people like Geo that have the subscribers, they're just not hitting the watch time. Think of new and creative ways that you can get content out there that might not be time sensitive or is well ahead of time sensitivity, because I don't want you to lose your partnership. Geo least of all. I don't want you to lose your partnership or not be able to get partnership or anything like that. I don't want you to lose that. I don't want that opportunity to pass you by. Also had a comment from Matthew Parker asking me, aside from the Montreal Canadiens, what's your favorite NHL team? Matthew, the Habs are my team. They've always been my team. They're the sport, along with like Major League Baseball, where I'm a big Blue Jays fan, or although I would probably be an Expos fan if they were still around. But the NHL is the one league where like my objectivity is much lesser, because I have a horse in the race. I have a dedicated horse in the race. After Montreal, it's kind of like how it used to be with me in the NFL. I like players, and therefore kind of like the teams that they are playing for. Great example of this, Nathan MacKinnon. The only reason really that I like the Colorado Avalanche, like Patrick Waugh used to play for them back in the day, but then Nathan MacKinnon. I am a huge Nathan MacKinnon fan. Therefore, I like when the Avalanche win. Edmonton Oilers, same deal. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Oscar Klefbom. I'm big fans of those players. Therefore, I like the Oilers. Jakub Voracek and the Philadelphia Flyers. Shout out to Billy B. And I mean, Voracek, another player that used to play for my Mooseheads, which was my junior hockey team. Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets, another great example. I really love the way Mark Scheifele plays. I was actually gutted that he didn't fall to Montreal in that draft. I would have loved to have gotten, like, there's the #1 center that we have been so desperately needing for the last, I don't know, forever. Who was the last #1 center that we had? Anyway, Matthew, I hope that answers your question. Thank you very much for asking it. Folks, keep firing away on your About Me questions. Just, like, keep it up. Keep up those questions. I love answering them. I think they make for some fun answers. Now, the real meat of what we're going to talk about today. A couple days ago, the Oscar nominees were announced. Andy Serkis was part of the announcement team that live streamed that. I don't think it was on television. I think it was live streamed to the internet. First of all, the top 5 most nominated movies, if you haven't heard. The Shape of Water leading all movies with 13 nominations. Dunkirk in second place with 8 nominations. 7 nominations went to 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which won the Golden Globe for Best Picture Drama. And then Darkest Hour and Phantom Thread, the last film supposedly of Daniel Day-Lewis's career, they tied with 6 nominations apiece. So we want to talk about snubs. I got a couple for you. War for the Planet of the Apes and Molly's Game. Those were 2 of my favorite movies from this past year. And again, this whole snubs conversation is so subjective, but that was 2 of my favorite movies from last year. They only garnered 1 nomination apiece. War for the Planet of the Apes got nominated, obviously, for visual effects. That makes sense. Molly's Game gets nominated for adapted screenplay. And actually, I think that book, Molly's Game, is really, really, really good. So that, I think, would be a front runner, certainly with Aaron Sorkin behind it as the screenwriter. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly where those 2 movies fell on my top 30 best movies of last year. In order to see that, you're gonna have to go watch the movie awards. So remember how I just said Molly's Game only got 1 nomination? That means Jessica Chastain was not nominated for Best Actress. Now, she was nominated at the Golden Globes. That, to me, is a snub, because that performance in Molly's Game is so good. I thought Jessica Chastain should have been nominated for that performance. Probably, honestly, Meryl Streep. Now, I mean, look, I haven't seen The Post yet, so I don't know about her performance in that. I'm sure it's tremendous, but Meryl Streep at this point getting nominated for Best Actress is almost, it's like Spielberg getting nominated for Best Director. Like, it's on name. I would have even liked to see Jessica Chastain nominated over, let's say, Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird. Now look, Lady Bird, I thought was a good movie. It was an honorable mention for me, I believe. And Saoirse Ronan herself was an honorable mention for me in my Best Actress category. But that meant there were at least 3 actresses that were ahead of her, if not more, on the honorable mentions. So I would have taken Jessica Chastain as a nominee over either one of them. Also, I would argue that the Academy Awards completely botched the Best Director category. I would say of the 5 nominees, probably 2 of them actually deserve to be there. No disrespect intended, but Greta Gerwig? Greta Gerwig might not have even been the Best Female Director of the year, and there's very, very few of them, which should change. I thought Get Out was a really good movie, but as far as, you know, like, dominantly directed? And this is where my problem comes from. Where's Edgar Wright for Baby Driver? And for the up and down kind of response, certainly in my circle of friends, to Baby Driver, the direction is one of the strengths of that movie. So, like, where's Edgar Wright for Baby Driver? Where's Denis Villeneuve for Blade Runner 2049 for making arguably one of the most beautiful movies ever made? Or where's, like, Yorgos Lanthimos for The Killing of a Sacred Deer, who's basically Stanley Kubrick in a box? Anyway, my personal opinion, really the only directors that are in there that probably deserve to be in there is Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water and Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, because holy crap, what a cinematic experience Dunkirk is. Shut up, movie nerd, just give us your picks. Fine. I'm going to give you my picks right now for the big 4 categories, which is Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Director, and Best Picture. And again, this is just right now. This is going to change between now and Oscars night because A, I'm doing a full Oscars pool, so I'm really going to be immersing myself in the nominees and watching as many of the movies as possible. And that leads to the second point. I haven't seen everything that's been nominated, so I'm going to try to see as much of what's been nominated as possible. That starts tonight. So these are likely going to change. These are just my leans right now. In the Best Actor category, my lean right now is probably Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour, where he portrays Winston Churchill. The first time I saw the trailer for that movie, I was like, okay, this is basically, you might as well change the title of this movie to Dear God, Give Gary Oldman an Oscar. In the Best Actress category, first of all, before I even say my lean and who I honestly think, I don't think this is going to change, who's going to win it, I would not be upset at all if I was wrong about this and Sally Hawkins wound up winning for The Shape of Water. That's a movie I haven't even seen yet. But as far as I'm concerned, it's Frances McDormand and everybody else. Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. She won the Golden Globe in this category, and I figure Frances McDormand will win Best Actress. But again, I wouldn't be disappointed if Sally Hawkins kind of stole it. Not literally, figuratively. Well, I mean, literally, it would be kind of funny. Wouldn't that be incredible if you're just watching the Oscars and just in the background, you just see Frances McDormand chasing Sally Hawkins after Sally Hawkins has stolen her Oscar? I think that should be a movie. That's at least a short film. The Best Director category at this point is probably a slam dunk. I don't have to have seen Shape of Water to know how beautiful it is just from seeing trailers. Guillermo del Toro, Papa Guillermo, will win this category. Funny enough, this is Christopher Nolan's first Oscar nomination for direction. So, I mean, maybe the Academy might go that way in recognition of, like, everything that he's done. So maybe they might reward him, but I mean, he's so young in directorial terms. I think he's only like mid-40s. They probably won't give it to him, but it is possible. But look, I'm backing Papa Guillermo all the way. And as far as Best Picture goes, I can only go with the best of the ones that I've seen. I think I've seen 4 or 5 of the nominees. I'm not 100% sure exactly what the count is at this point. I mean, right now, you have to go 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I was the most complete film of any of the nominees that I watched, and that's the horse I'm going to ride until shown otherwise. Take a look at the Oscar nominees, pull them up on Wikipedia. Let me know in the comments section below, who do you like for Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Director, and Best Picture of 2017? Who do you think might have gotten snubbed? Let me know all that in the comments section below. Talk some movies with me. I love talking movies. Clearly, Tyler and I just did it for what, like 19 hours? All right, folks, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us today. Look for the next episode probably on Monday. We'll leave the weekend. Like, guys, I have a relatively boring life. You got to leave a couple days in there for something to actually happen. I'm going to take this opportunity to remind you, please, please, please watch the Super Bowl 52 video. Even if you just skip to close to the end, there's an opportunity in that video to win a $10 credit to Nerd Teas. My promo code is in the description to this video. It's in the description to that video. I'm trying to give you a free 10 bucks, guys, plus a free 15% off with my promo code. But you can only find out how to do that by watching the Super Bowl 52 video. So you might want to do that. We're going to finish off with something that I recorded and pre-produced for you yesterday, which was part of your hook for today's episode. And what that is a behind-the-scenes look at a Bridgewater's Finest podcast. So that is going to start basically when I'm done talking here. But here is also your hook for the next episode. I will follow through and I will review the Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg joint, The Post. I will follow through on that. And I got a little think piece. And when I was talking about, you know, when's the last time Montreal had a true #1 center, my Canadiens? And boy, it's been a long time. I'm going to tell you why I think they're about to get one. And his name is John Tavares. All right, folks, that's it for me. Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter, fueled, as always, by Nerd Teas. Make sure you watch the Super Bowl 52 video. Find out how you can win a $10 Nerd Teas credit. Make sure in the comments section below, you keep up your About Me questions. You keep up the commentaries about the Oscar nominees. And without further ado, we will see you next time. And here's your behind-the-scenes look at a Bridgewater's Finest podcast. See you next time. Okay, folks, as promised, here's your behind-the-scenes look at a Bridgewater's Finest podcast. And as far as I'm concerned, the #1 rule when it comes to any audio recording is comfort. T-shirt, track pants, reading socks. As we move into the recording studio, or as most people would call it, the kitchen and the dining room, we reach rule #2. Tea. Always tea. Today's selection, my personal favorite blend from Nerd Teas, that might be backwards, but whatever. My personal favorite blend from Nerd Teas, which is chocolate cake. Yes, it's tea that tastes like chocolate cake. That pop's one of the best sounds in the world. Here we've got our gear set up, ready to roll. We got the laptop all geared up. Audacity's the program that I use to record my audio, and my audio recording goes all the way around here to my blue Snowball microphone. I love this thing. It's great. It was incredibly valuable. It was not overly expensive. It's a great mic. And of course, we need water. Tea's done. We've got our tea, we've got our water, we've got our setup all geared up, our notes are ready to go. Let's record us a podcast. What's happening, everybody? Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter, and this is it. Welcome to the Super Bowl 52 episode of my weekly NFL pick show for the 2017-2018 NFL season, which I am also recording for a vlog purpose for tomorrow. Now comes the fun part that I won't actually make you guys sit through, which is the editing and production and everything like that. But that's it. That's honestly, it's that easy. If you thought it was complicated, it's really not. You sit there, you talk. If you got the setup right, you're using the right stuff. It's just that easy. Honestly, everyone should do it. If everyone in the world had a podcast, I think that would be excellent. So if you're thinking about starting one, start one.